Hi, it's Tyron here. Welcome to another weekly market analysis. But what I'm going to look at is just a few of these stop outs because all I've had is consistent stop outs this year. I've not had a or got into a winning trade that I can manage. That's trading. Bearing in mind this is only a $100 account, so the risk is around about 3 to 5% per trade. I'd never risk that much on any trade. It's normally 1% or less on a larger account. However, with £100, not $100, but £100, can't really do that. Now, if it does get a bit low, because I have to follow my rules, I know they work, and there's been plenty of opportunities. Unfortunately, the markets could be turning on a higher time frame and having a series of these losses. So what I'm going to do is first of all analyse some of these losses, and then we'll look into next week's trade setups. Euro, let's have a look. Let's get straight over to the account history. Started with £100. So far, Aussie yen. Let's have a little look. I was looking at this was potentially going to be a rally base and continuation. Looks like it's a range bound market. My order was in at 88.04, which is up in this area. So what I was looking for is a continuation, a rally base, and then a continuation of this monthly uptrend, but it's rolled over, decides to turn almost into a range or reversal, and the level I was looking at was this level here. This is the level. So if it was going to continue from this month up, and if you look at the monthly here, we've already had 2 green candles, a base of red, 2 green. There's been 3 red on the pullbacks, but there's always been 2 decent range candles to the upside, so I was expecting this to be another extension. It didn't happen, you know. I can only follow the rules. No one knows what is going to happen in the future. You just have to flow with the market. So price is obviously turning, something was happening, and this level failed. These were nice levels, so trying to catch the after a big move, not the best levels, but if it's going to be a strong trending market for another month or two, then these are the levels you've got to get on. Prices obviously retraced, and then I was let's have a look. Did I look for another one in Aussie yen? No, I didn't. It was the CAD yen. Had 3 orders in the CAD yen. 2 of them made entry and failed. 1 of them I cancelled. So I believe this was one of the levels here. Let's enlarge that, because price had dropped here into this area of the weekly. Bearing in mind, my monthly is range bound, but the weekly gave me an opportunity because price had closed above all these levels and dropped down within the time. So this is the nice pattern within a potential uptrend on the monthly slash range. So I still want to be looking for longs, and price come into here, and I think before we actually turned on this red weekly bar, price is around about 88.53. My order was at 88.12, so it was deep into that weekly level, and it would have been, was it this level? Just trying to find the exact 88. Oh no, it was 88.75. Yep, round about here, with my stop above or below this area, 50 odd pips, and got stopped out. So this was the first level. Why? Because we had a sort of base, but it had a few wicks up, and then we dropped below, and then we closed above. So this was the first level that I was interested in, and the timing went up, based, and dropped was perfect. We did have a reaction, but as you can see, price wants to move lower. The second one was once price had hit here and reacted, which was this reaction. Again, we had a little level of a drop base, close below here of this wick, so this was the base, and then we had a base and then close above. So 2 days down, which was perfect valid entry here, and it failed. So obviously the market, something's happening on the bigger picture. This range bound, it could bounce now. So there is a weekly, a monthly range. If it's a monthly, again, maybe watch this daily. There might be another opportunity down here if we start to take out this level. And the reason this is a level, drop base and close below. But we'll go into that in the market analysis, because this is a monthly range now. Potentially could be rolling over. So I'm going to be a bit careful with the ranges, but we'll have a look if there's an opportunity. So that was the CAD yen. Let's have a look at the euro yen quickly. Similar thing. We're in an uptrend of the monthly, the weekly, beautiful level here, close above, 1 week up, 1 week down, but continued straight through it. I've got this monthly level still down here. This is still valid, by the way, because we've had this close above, and it's had 3 months pretty much up and a base. So I've got really 2/3 red bars to come down. So I can leave that on. There is an order there, but this could be changing direction. Could be another stop out. But the rules tell me to take it. I have to take it. What else we had recently? Pound. You won't talk more about the yen pairs. As you can see, they're all fading because it's against the yen. Dollar CAD is a different one. Downward movement on the monthly, but these are quite big, swings. And we've had this turn here, so it looks like potentially it wants to turn earlier than any move that we had a retracement back here. But basically the movement is down. We've had some quite big monthly drops, and this is fairly early, so I've tried to short. As you can see, we're already taking this monthly candle high. It's failed. This was a beautiful weekly level from here. I'll drill it down. We had one red candle down, a base, and one green candle up. I class this as a base. We can always allow one in the base because we just literally pushed lower here and then closed here. So then this was a valid entry. I mean, if you look at from the high, we've had about 2 candles down, so you could say even 2 candles up, but valid entry, and I got stopped out. So something is happening. That's why I'm having all these losses at once. There was a couple on the dollar CAD, maybe on a small one, but that's pretty much it. So I've not done anything wrong. That's just trading. And if, like I said, this account does have a string of losses for the first few months and I get a bit low, I might have to top it up just to continue trading at the lowest lot size, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And then I want to talk later on. I'm going to make a string of videos on lessons because I use this as like investing. I'm compounding my own savings account. I'm always adding in and trading 1% round. It depends on, again, if I've got a couple of entries in the same pair very close, I might split it between 0.5%, so I'm risking 1% per currency pair, if that makes sense. But if there's 2 different areas, like a daily and a monthly, completely different areas, and then I'll put 1% on each trade. But if it's like a level on top of a level, I normally split that down a little bit just to make sure that I don't risk too much per currency pair. So let's do the weekly market analysis, and I'll talk more about lesson videos that I'm going to put onto my community, which will be private videos, because I'm going to go into as much detail as I can about the supply and demand and the rules and why, and then where I can look to make it better for future as well, which will be open to discussion. So monthly range bound dollar CAD, looking at going long. I've got this order down here. Now we've had 1 week up, 2 weeks up, a pause, 1 week down, 2 weeks down. This is a pause. Didn't make entry. I'm going to cancel this when the market opens. This is no longer a valid buy for me. Okay, I had I believe we was into this 200 sorry, was into this weekly level, so I had a loss on this 240. I think it was this level. It did react and prices dropped, so this is already telling me the timing's out to go long, save me some further potential losses. So nothing on the Aussie CAD at the moment, so this is going to get cancelled. There's a potential that we may break lower, or it's going to continue higher, but I need to see that on the weekly, and by that time we're in this range, it'll be too late to trade, so it's not looking good now. Aussie Swiss, won't talk about this range at the moment. I'm going to stick more with the trend structure. We already spoke about the losses in this. This is looking like it's range bound as well. It could be bouncing and we could react, and if we took this level out, potential long, but because it's such a tight range, I won't be looking at any trades on that. Now Aussie dollar still on for this. Every green candle up has been 2 at least. Retracement 2 up. I'm looking for 2 down, so we've got 1 green. You could class this as the push up and the base, and the push down and the base. So next month, or this month, so February, March, I can have a long here perfectly, or we'll drop into this. In fact, this is not so much a monthly trend, but it is a range. But we can drop down into this area and watch the daily, you know, when we get down, because it's range bound as well. We've not closed above, so it's not actually a trend level, but I still want to drop within that time zone to look for a trade along here, this sort of area. So if we don't quite reach this low and I start to get levels on the daily, or even the 240-minute time frame, because it's a beautiful weekly one, this is a valid weekly, all these levels down, and we've got this close above, massive move up. I'm looking for 5, 6, 7 or 6 weeks down now, basing on, so I've got plenty of time, like I said, a month and a half to make entry down here. If we drop and it starts to roll over on the 240-minute in this weekly area, maybe I can get on a little bit early for a target up in this area. So that's pretty much a range bound market on the higher time frame, but very nice. CAD Swiss, I've already shorted this in a different account, that was from last year, I won't talk about that. CAD Yen, again we've in a range bound here from this level. This is the level, rally, base, close above, and price hasn't taken it out, it's just been range bound market now. We've not closed above this, so this is a range bound, potentially going to bounce from the low here. But this is where I had my initial order, perfect, 3 weeks up, 3 weeks down, started rolling, trying to get on board, and failed on the initial pull down here and on the reversal on the lower time frame. So this is playing out more on this range bound market. There's a 50-50. So now we're in the extreme. Can watch to see if the daily wants to take this level out, which means then for a pullback potentially to come up for targets in this area. So if I've got a 5 or more than a 5 to 1, then I may have a look at that. I'm not really going to be using the weekly because it's in the middle of this monthly range, so I'm not going to rely on these levels now, especially after we've been taken out on this area. So telling me just to don't rely on the weekly. So it's giving me some information. I have to listen to that. Swiss yen, nothing there. What I can really do. There is this level here, but this is a range bound market still. Okay, this is just a very tight mess. We've got a close. It is getting stronger by the if you wanted to use the supply and demand curve, what has happened is from this sort of area, this is the balance of power, then we've come somewhere from here across to here, and then it started to increase. It started to increase slightly. So we are in an uptrend, but the general direction is sideways. So if market wants to push higher, it could push from this level, but based on the fact of what's happened recently, and this is a sideways market, there's a good chance that this is just going to get taken out as a fake out, move a bit lower. So what we'll do, if we get down deep into the range bound, which is more of a weekly, I'll be honest, because this is the level right down here that we closed above, and since then it's just been basing. So there is no real monthly level, just a pattern, which is from these low areas, as you can see. So this is the supply and demand imbalance. Short up here and you go long down here. Again, I'm trying to stay within the amount of candles, the mirror image. So far 2 up, 1 down, 1 in the base. You could say 2 or 3 up. So I've got plenty of time to look for a trade, but I won't just put a set and forget down here. I want to see a reaction on the daily. Maybe depending on the structure, I might have to drop down to 240 minute, but potential long there, but I need to be more active on that. It looks like the Euro Aussie is in an uptrend. We're reacting at the moment, pulled back and just pushing higher. Not had a close above on the weekly, so there is no level here. There is no daily level now. I want to see really us push above this as we're so close to it before I start looking for trades. It's almost like we get that rally base, and the weekly we could have a push out. So if we start to make levels higher on the daily, we push above, then I'm going to start to get on board with the Euro Aussie. So that'll happen probably during the week, next week. Euro CAD, not had a close above. We're still open this month. It's pushed above, close above on the weekly, nice weekly level. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 weeks down to make an entry, maybe 5 if this, as this is a base. So I've got another sort of month to make entry, valid order, or we can drop down into this area and I might get some turn on the 240 minute, because this is in an uptrend. I'm with the direct, I'm not fighting the monthly. We haven't had a close here, so there's no real monthly level here. This is a weekly level. The monthly level is right down here because we've had this drop here. This is the pivot point, the basing area. Then we had 1 green, 2 green close above, and all I've got is basing candles. But as I've had 2 up, I've got 2 in the base. I need 2 strong candles down to this low, which could happen. This could be just a very big wick fake out, and price, if we take this area out, might suddenly plummet, and this is where I'd like to go long again, or look on the daily for some turns. So valid order still there, and because of this strong move up already, and we've got a basing candle here, it looks like this, like I say, could roll over. But what might happen, we might create some more daily levels, so that it might push up again. So we've got this here, pause at the moment, and then we'll end up with a big green monthly close above, like one of these candles. So I've got to keep an eye on the daily. Now this level is no longer valid. We've had 2, 3 up, 1, 2, a base. Look at this wick. I'm looking for some close above on the daily. Fantastic then to get on a daily level demand to go long. Euro Swiss, this is potential reversal, but I don't know, coming into a crappy level here, so I'm not going to touch that. Nothing really too much on this Euro Pound, range bound on the weeklies. It's more of a pattern trade. Euro Yen, we've got this close. This is a decent level till we take this level out. Monthly level, we've had 2 months or 1 month, 2 months kind of up here. There's only 1 close above, so it's kind of base, rally, base. So I need a base. I need 1 more month maybe to drop into this level. So next month, by the end of next month, this will get cancelled. If it gets taken out, then there's definitely a big change of imbalance on the higher time frame. Euro New Zealand, rally, base, rally, 2 up, one in the base. A very basey candle here, not a strong push down. Orders being cancelled, and we've also kind of pushed up as if it's turning already. So the reaction, you know, if you should be in it here for a big move up. Looking for the weekly to close above. Didn't get a close above, so no orders on that to go long. So really what I'm trying to do is wait for the weekly to get in sync with this monthly to give me confirmation to trade the daily or lower time frames. So I'm going to have to sit tight on the Euro New Zealand. Euro Dollar, nice pullback, got 3 months up. Looking for 3 months back down to here, or 4 if we have a base this month. Nice weekly level. We've had the close above on all these candles, so this is the weekly level. There is a basing area here, but this actually closed. It actually closed at 1.2219, and this high 1.2218. So this closed above this, so this isn't a base to me. This is the base of the weekly. So if we can drop into this area, I'll be watching the daily for levels of demand. If we drop into this area up here, I'll be watching the 240 for levels of demand if we don't make entry, because the chances of reaching all the way to these lows are normally highly unlikely, and if they do, there's a high chance that we're going to get stopped out anyway, or it's going to go into range bound, or you get that lucky one where you do get that volatility to get the entry, price reacts very quickly, which is what I like to see. So nice wicks on the weekly, the monthly, and then we're in for a nice big move, all giving me information. Pound yen, taking this level out, not going to do anything at the moment. There is no direction on this monthly. Could be potential rolling over on the big picture. Look at this, we've moved up, it's moving more sideways, could come down. There is room to drop like this, looking at the pattern. I've got a weekly area of supply, but I'm not going to trade this either, you know. I'm not going to do counter trend. Here we go, beautiful base rally, looking for an entry this month on the weekly here, and on the monthly at the extreme. This is a level here on the weekly, I believe. Was it this? Yeah, because of this wick down. You see, we've had this has closed above, but we did take out the low of this wick. So this is the level now. This is where it's like an exception to the rule. I don't normally have a level unless we have a close below the high of the previous candle. Okay, if we got that, then I've got a level. But because the close is above, let me enlarge that. But also, what's happened? The next candle has dropped below this, so this becomes the base. That's the exception. I need to do some videos on this. So I've got 1, 2, 3 up, pause, 1, 2. I've got 3 weeks to make an entry here, or watch this area for the 240 minute to try and get in if we don't make the lows. New Zealand dollar, expanded range. Dollar CAD, again beautiful downtrend. Big moves here. This is rolling over quite quickly, so the timing needed to keep going if this was going to like a drop-based drop to stay with the timing pattern, and it hasn't. This was a perfect level, it just didn't work. Dollar Swiss, again monthly level because we're the close below, a weekly level. So we've got 1, 2, 3 weeks to make entry here. And we've got a base. This is the first week closing. I need another really 1, 2, 3. Kind of part. I need really 2 more weeks, 2 strong, maybe 3 potentially. I'll have to look at that because this could be, you could class this really as a base because this close is so close. It's discretional, but really 2 clean weeks up. If we really have strong pushes up, fantastic level. Get into this area, maybe look at the 240 for new levels of supply. Dollar yen, range bound. It's a downward range like a flag. Okay, that's why this, I'm just sort of drew this level in. This is the low, but I'm expecting price to drop, so I'm not interested in trading this dollar yen. I was doing an example that this level is too high. It's not deep enough inside this area, these wicks, to look for daily demand yet. So if we drop a bit lower, take this low out, but create daily demand, we're in a pattern that is a rally, flag, potential rally out of here. Different than the trend following on the monthly, but a pattern that is well worth considering to take a trade on. So I'm going to keep an eye on that on the dollar yen as we drop a bit deeper next few weeks. That's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up and bear with us, through the losses. This is trading. I want to be honest and show you the way it goes, and if I have to add, I'll add. And then I want to talk actually about, really I want to talk, so when I get to about mid-year, about June, July, I want to show you, I'm going to make some videos on this and put it on my community, how I trade my savings account, because that's what it is to me, it's a savings account, how I'm compounding my money, because I put money into every month from my earnings, and I'm risking 1% on each trade on different currency pairs, and it works for me. So I wanted to show you guys, and I'll put that in the community, so that if anyone's interested, there'll be more for people who are serious about this to comment and get involved in that. And that is it, guys. It's all going to come over the next few months, so safe trading, and yeah, good luck.